Albany, New York is the official capital and the oldest city in the state of New York. Nestled on the banks of the Hudson River, Albany has a rich history, beautiful architecture and landscapes, stunning views of the Hudson River, and delicious food. Join us in this video as we explore Albany and show you the top things to do, from the majestic New York State Capitol to the serene beauty of Washington Park and the cool exhibits at the Albany Institute of History and Art. And of course, where to eat. Let's jump right in. Number 1 on the list is the Empire State Plaza. If you're in Albany, a visit to this impressive plaza is definitely a must. The plaza features a long reflective pool, flanked by iconic buildings, memorials, and sculptures. The most notable buildings are the New York State Capitol, which houses the government, as well as the Corning Tower, another government building and the tallest in Albany. Another famous structure on the plaza is the Egg, which is one of the most iconic buildings here. This unique performing arts center, with its unusual elliptical shape, has made it a symbol of the plaza and of Albany in general. On the south side of the plaza is the New York State Museum, which offers exhibits on the natural and cultural history of New York State. Around the plaza, you will also find memorials to important people, various wars, and significant events. The plaza is also a great place to sit down and relax and read a book. You may also spot some ducks when you're here, just hanging out by the water. They even have a specially built ramp meant to help them get in and out of the water, which is pretty funny. Around the plaza, there are also some beautiful green spaces that are great for hanging out and relaxing. Be sure to stroll around and enjoy the manicured gardens. And also check out the very cool art installations all around the plaza. Number 2 on our list is the New York State Capitol, located right on the plaza. This building is a historic and architectural landmark that serves as the seat of the New York State government. You can take a free guided tour, which I would highly recommend you do. The construction of the New York State Capitol began in 1867 and took over 30 years to finish. The Capitol's construction was incredibly costly for its time, with total cost reaching over $25 million. The building is renowned for its unique and eclectic architectural style, which combines elements of Romanesque Revival, Neo-Renaissance, and Victorian Gothic. During the tour, you will get to visit the various important rooms, such as the Senate and Assembly chambers. The Capitol was designed by several architects over its lengthy construction period, and each architect brought different architectural styles to the building. Perhaps the most noticeable one is the design of the 3 different staircases in the building. 2 of the staircases have fairly similar looks and were built with an emphasis on functionality while still feeling grand. The most notable staircase is the $1 Million Staircase. The staircase was constructed between 1884 and 1897, taking 13 years to complete. It earned the nickname $1 Million Staircase due to its incredible cost of $1.5 million at the time, which was a staggering amount for that era. Many prominent figures from American history are carved into the staircase, including U.S. Presidents Abraham Lincoln and George Washington, as well as other notable figures like Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Our next stop is the Hall of Governors. Here you will find portraits of the New York governors, including 4 that went on to become presidents. The Hall of New York is another fun place that features works by artists inspired by the beauty of New York State's natural landscape. I would definitely recommend touring the state capitol when you visit Albany, and also note that it's completely free. Next up is the New York State Museum, which has a rich collection of exhibits that highlight the natural and cultural history of New York. The museum takes up only 1 floor, but it is quite large and can take quite a bit of time if you plan to explore all the exhibits. I would plan to spend at least 1 to 2 hours here. The museum has a few permanent exhibits that cover various aspects of New York State's history, geology, and biodiversity, and an exhibit on New York City and its various neighborhoods throughout time. Another exhibit is the Native Peoples of New York. It highlights the important history and culture of the indigenous people here. I personally really enjoyed the Birds of New York exhibit. Here you can see some interesting birds and also some pretty cute ones. But the most powerful exhibit that can't be missed is the 9/11 exhibit. It showcases artifacts from Ground Zero and stories of the impact on New York and its people. Some artifacts include this huge fragment of the exterior wall of one of the towers, landing gear from the airplane and other unidentified components of the plane, a sign from a business in the World Trade Center, and a fire truck from first responders. This exhibit is really well done and a must visit when you're in Albany, to remember an important time in American history. And this museum too is completely free to enter. Number 4 on the list is the Corning Observation Deck. This building too is right on the Plaza. A fun fact is that the Corning Tower is the tallest building in New York State outside of New York City, standing at 589 feet with 44 floors. The Corning building has an observation deck on the 42nd floor that offers breathtaking panoramic views of the city of Albany, the Hudson River, and the surrounding capital region. From the deck, you can spot key landmarks such as the New York State Capitol, the Egg Performing Arts Center, the Hudson River, and the various buildings that make up the Empire State Plaza. On a clear day, you can also even see the Catskills. If you're visiting Albany, make sure to stop by here, and the best part that this too is completely free. Number 5 on our list is explore Albany's beautiful architecture. Albany has some gorgeous buildings, both old and new. As one of the oldest surviving settlements, Albany has a rich history dating back to the early 17th century. The city played a significant role in the American Revolution and was a key military supply center. Later on in the video, we will go tour one of Albany's famous historical landmarks, Skyler Mansion. When you're here, be sure to drive around, make stops, and explore Albany's beautiful buildings and architectural style. And if you're enjoying the video so far, please give it a like and subscribe as it really helps out the channel. I would also recommend stopping by Albany's Visitor Center, where you can see a life-size model of the city of Albany, learn a bit more about its history, and also learn about some of the beautiful buildings. And that brings us to our next stop, Skyler Mansion. This mansion is a historic house museum that offers a glimpse into the life of one of the most prominent families of the 18th century. The mansion offers a guided tour where you can learn more about its history. Skyler Mansion was constructed in the 1760s for Philip Schuyler, a Revolutionary War general, U.S. Senator, and member of one of New York's most influential families. He and his wife Catherine descended from affluent and powerful Dutch families and raised 8 children in this home. The mansion was the site of military strategizing, political mingling, elegant social affairs, and an active family life. And it was also home to more than 50 enslaved laborers. An interesting fact is that Philip Schuyler's daughter, Elizabeth, was married to Alexander Hamilton, and that's him on the wall. Philip Schuyler's influence in political and military circles provided Hamilton with opportunities and support for his career. Upon Philip Schuyler's death, the mansion remained within the family and was inherited by his children, who then sold it. Eventually, it was repurposed as an orphanage, but the orphanage soon ran out of space in the mansion. The sisters in charge refused to sell the mansion to anyone besides the state or a preservation society. And so today, Skyler Mansion stands as a great way for visitors to learn and appreciate Albany's rich history. No visit to Albany is complete without exploring its delicious food scene. Our first stop is some amazing New York cheesecake at Cheesecake Machismo. This place is a local family-run spot that serves arguably the best cheesecake. They have more than 600 flavors in their recipe box, and each day they offer a new combination of flavor selections. Both cheesecakes we tried, the lemon blueberry and white chocolate matcha, were phenomenal. The texture was smooth and velvety, and the crust was nice and buttery. I would highly recommend stopping by here when you're in Albany. And on the subject of sweets, be sure to also check out Bitchin' Donuts. They have a lot of super fun flavors and of course amazing donuts. I couldn't resist and had to try a few different flavors and they were all amazing. So if you're craving some delicious fluffy donuts when you're in Albany, you can't go wrong with Bitchin' Donuts. Super fluffy and delicious, definitely a 10 out of 10. For a savory lunch spot, the Cheese Traveler is a great option. Another great local and family-owned business, they have handcrafted cheeses, charcuterie, and specialty foods. They also have a kitchen where you can buy sandwiches, soups, and other lunch items. Deciding what to get was a very difficult decision, as everything on their menu looked delicious. Ultimately, we went for a simple grilled cheese sandwich and a smokin' hot Italian grilled cheese. The blend of cheeses was absolutely delicious. And to complete the meal, we also got some delicious tomato soup. And if you're looking for a cheese purse or some cheese earrings, you can also find those here. Our next stop is 9 Pin Cider Works, another local business. Here they serve up delicious food and amazing apple cider. 9 Pin Cider Works serves a variety of delicious flavors of apple cider such as ginger, disco berry, and pink lemonade. If you stop by, I would recommend getting the flight so you can try out a bunch of flavors. In addition to the amazing cider, the food here was also really good. I would recommend getting their pizza as it was super delicious, and we also really liked this goat cheese blueberry toast. Definitely highly recommend stopping by here. Next up on our list is Washington Square Park. This park is a picturesque urban oasis in the heart of Albany and spans approximately 81 acres. As a public property, it dates back to the city's charter in 1686 and has seen many uses, including for gunpowder storage, square and parade grounds, and a cemetery. The design of the park was inspired by Frederick Law Olmsted and Calvert Vaux, the same landscape architects behind Central Park in New York City. It's a great place to take a stroll, breathe some fresh air, and relax. Another fun park in Albany is the Corning Preserve. This park is located basically on the highway, but also right by the Hudson River. It offers some amazing views of the Hudson River in a nicely manicured green space, a great place to take in the naturey feeling of upstate New York's landscape. And the next spot on our list, the USS Slater, is located right next to the Corning Preserve. The USS Slater is a World War II destroyer. Here you can choose to take a 30-minute or 1-hour guided tour of the ship by the very knowledgeable staff. You will discover the purpose of each area of this destroyer and explore the living conditions of the sailors. During World War II, over 500 destroyers battled Nazi boats on the Atlantic, protecting convoys of men and materials. The USS Slater was commissioned in 1944 and made 5 voyages across the Atlantic, where it escorted convoys of merchant ships carrying food and supplies to the UK. After Germany's surrender and World War II was over, it was transferred to other navies. In 1951, it was transferred to Greece, where it served until the 1990s. The USS Slater then made its way back to New York in 1993, where it was restored and now is open as a really cool museum ship. Our last and final stop is the Albany Institute of History and Art. It is one of the oldest museums in the U.S. dedicated to collecting and preserving the history, art, and culture of Albany and the Upper Hudson Valley region. The museum is divided into 3 floors and takes about 2 hours to go through, depending on your pace. The first floor is dedicated to a special exhibit. When we visited, they had a really nice exhibit called The Sign of the Rabbit by Hunt Solon. He was born in the Chinese Year of the Rabbit, and this exhibit reflects that, and it was a really fun exhibit that we really enjoyed. If you enjoy art museums, I would definitely recommend checking it out. The Institute also houses an extensive collection of paintings and sculptures with a strong emphasis on American art from the 17th century to the present. The museum's historical collections include a wide array of artifacts that reflect the social, economic, and cultural history of the Upper Hudson Valley and Albany. These range from colonial-era objects to contemporary items. There is also a very impressive room featuring paintings of upstate New York. Highlights include works by the Hudson River School painters such as Thomas Cole and Frederick Edwin Church. One of the unique aspects of the Institute is its Egyptian collection, which includes mummies. The mummies were brought over from Egypt by one of Albany's residents and then donated to the museum. Overall, this was a really enjoyable museum and was a highlight of our trip to Albany. And with that is it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe for more travel content.